All right, everyone. Tonight I am going to play Millipede for the 2600. I'm doing this for a high score challenge over at my Discord server. I think twice a month we're doing high score challenges, and if you win a high score challenge, you get to pick the next game, basically. Hopefully this will work out good. We will see. I'm not sure how nicely the streaming software will play with this game because it does use a lot of sprites and flickering and stuff, but we'll see. So let's give it a go. Let me know how the sound is when I start, if it's a good mix. And also, if you want to join the Discord server, there is a link I put at the top of the chat. If this is later in the video or whatever, you can just scroll up and see it. And it looks like I need to drink some water. Let's give this a go. You have to start. So for this challenge, you have to start at 0 points. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And so on my end, I can see everything fine, but it's possible that some things may not appear on your end. I'm not sure because I can't see what you're seeing. Oh no, he made poison mushrooms. That's not cool. Oh no, they're already getting low. Got a free guy, but I am already in trouble. Already in trouble. Let's keep this going. There we go. This is a game that takes me a lot of focus to do. Good, everything's looking okay. That's good to know. Is the sound okay? Good mix? See, Louie's here and Pikachu's here already. Nicholas is here as well. Welcome. This was a very last second stream. I think the high score, you can help me, Pikachu. I think it's in the 80s. I think Pikachu has it. And I'm going to give this one a few attempts. This definitely has, you know, let's try it one more time kind of thing going on for it. And a lot more going on than Centipede. So now I have the 2 spiders. You can earn lives in bunches, but you can also lose them in bunches. And I'm actually rolling the board backward by hitting those. I forget if are those mosquitoes. I can't remember what the manual calls those. Well, I got past 50,000, so that's good. Oh, slow motion. And a free guy. And I lost him. High score is north of 81,000. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Oh no, this is where you have to do some centipede or millipede gymnastics. Come on, hit something. I feel like I'm shooting all these bullets and they're not hitting anything. Oh! Alright, let's keep this going. I will get to all the comments when I lose my last life, which might be really soon. Okay, let's see. 71,500. Well, and bonus. So not bad for a first attempt. So let's see. Derps here, he says, everything sounds fine. What's going on? Playing this for a high score challenge over at my Discord. And everything looks okay. So Louis Pikachu is here as well. Let's keep on going. Let's give it another go. I was, for a first attempt, I wasn't too far from the high score. Let's not do that. Oh, I got to restart it. I have to start it at 0 anyways. Go-To's here. Welcome, Go-To. So one of my strategies with Centipede, Millipede is, and I'm not doing a great job right now, but it's to try to manage the mushrooms near the bottom because they're the ones that really can cause you trouble when the centipede gets closer to you. See, if that one mushroom wasn't there, I would have been able to do it. And I kind of avoid these guys. Well, I try to. Not doing too great at avoiding them right now. There's so much to avoid in this game. I'm just going to start over. That was a bad start. Let's see. Caught a mosquito. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to pass your score or not, Pikachu. That was a really good first outing, but it takes more than, one game you could do well, and the next game you lose lives real quick. I am no Millipede expert. I do like this. I actually enjoy this better than Centipede. Oh, come on. Let's get that. Look at that. Got him in the cloud. That was awesome. That's awesome. Get him in the DDT, or in this version, DT. Speaking of DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts, am I right? What was that? Is there an invite to my Discord? Yeah, scroll up to the top. There's a link in the description, and there's also a link at the top of the chat. Let's take care of that. Whoa. No, we got to get rid of some of these mushrooms. Oh my goodness. WWJD is here. Welcome, welcome. Got him again. Oh, he already poisoned the mushroom there. Whatever that thing is, a mole or... I don't know what it is. Look at all the mushrooms already. This thing is just full of mushrooms. Full. Got to do some mushroom cleaning. I was doing so much better the other game. Well, at least I got a free life. Come on, get him. No, didn't get him. Ah. Oh, that's the problem. There's a bunch of poison mushrooms on the field. Well, let's get him. Got him. Trust me, Jake the Snake. That's right. All right. Not nearly as good as my first main attempt. Let's give it another go. Let's see anything in the chat. What is DDT anyways? Yeah, pesticide, wasn't it? But it became Jake the Snake's wrestling finisher. That's what I always thought of when I saw the DDT in this game. I thought of Jake. Because before this, I actually knew about Jake the Snake before I knew about Millipede. Millipede was out before, but... well, before Jake was like a big deal in the WWF at least. Welcome to Tuesday Night Titans Wrestling Talk. Oh no, there's too much going on. Ooh, free guy, yes. Ooh, got that one. Don't know how, but I did. Ooh, he snuck by me. Earwigs, they poison the mushroom. It's an earwig, okay. Ooh. I really need to clear some space. I'm not doing too good. Who's better, Jake the Snake or Raven? I'm totally a Jake the Snake guy because he popularized it. There might be prettier DDTs out there, but come on. It's Jake the Snake. It's just like when you think of the figure 4 leg lock, you think of Ric Flair. When you think of the sharpshooter, you think of Bret Hart. So there's just some guys it goes with with their moves, you know. Oh, that stunk. Let's start that again. Jalen's here. Welcome. No, I didn't start it again. Select button for this game works really well as a restart to get back to level 0. This is what happens. This is what happens when you play late at night. This was my first opportunity to really give this a go, so I figured why not. Wanted to do it for the Discord. This color, I have a hard time seeing the bullets. Some Atari games can be really dark. Now, no problem. This light color works very nicely. Oh no, look at all this. Got to clear out those mushrooms. Oh, man. Strange to think without Jake, we would have gotten Austin 316. Yeah. About to start my video playing horror games. Interesting. Play some Haunted House. One of the first, if not the first, survival horror game on a video game system. That was a nice lucky shot. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, this game can be tough. No doubt about it. It throws a lot at you. Ironically, my first game I was doing really well. Second game, not so much. Let's start this again. Oh, come on. At least I got that little earwig before he could do much harm. Doing a little better at the moment. Want to get over here to the side. Oh, great. Poisoned a bunch of mushrooms. That's not what you want to see happen. Ooh. Man, this game, man, it throws a lot at you. Left, right, up and down. It's all over diagonals. But if you can get in a groove, you could do okay. Whew. Oh, man. Hard to believe I pulled 70,000 on my first try. Force feedback says that he's terrible at these type of games. Not his jam. That's okay. Let's try this again. I can do better. I figured I should be able to get 50. Now, if you want to get a higher score, I think the DDT actually gives you bonus points, like triple the point value if you manage to do it. And these guys, you can rack up points because you can get them up to like 1,000, but of course, it doesn't do you no good if you die. So I tend just to try to survive them. And I think every 15,000 points you get a free guy. I think that's the story on this game. Ooh, oh man. Gold Rat's here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Man. Ooh, gotta slow down. Good. I will gladly take that right now. Ooh, I forgot. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking. Wasn't looking. You have to like look up, down, left, right with this game. Let's try this again. Really don't like that one poison one that I can't get rid of right now. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Man. Woo! That one's moving kind of slow. Let's try and clear a few of these mushrooms out. Oh dear, look at that. That is exactly what you don't want. A lot of activity on the bottom. A lot of activity. Whoo! How am I supposed to get through this mess? Not very well, evidently. Can I do a review of Micro Ms. Pac-Man? I don't have it. I do have a Micro Pac-Man. And I have done a review of the Pac-Man Tiny Arcade. But if I get one, probably, sure. See, talking about some early horror games like Sweet Home, Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark. Remember being confused because you weren't the Centipede or Millipede. Well, you weren't the asteroid in Asteroids either, right? So, but I can understand. Clock Tower. I want to get another good game in before I call it a night. Okay, let's clear out. Buggers, he's already making poisons. Let's start over. That's cold. That is called an old school save state right there. Already I'm getting way too much activity on the bottom part. Ooh, that was nice. Oh no. I got two little segments that were rogue segments that came out of nowhere. Just not enough room to move in. Now, if you're better than me, you can, get these tunnels going where you just shoot them down. I've never been really good at that. See, kind of like that. Oh dear, I gotta do better than this. Man, I gotta do better than this. Gotta do better. How was it I did so well the first game? You ever have that happen? Like you play a game, you do really well, and then you just try to repeat that success, and it's just not happening. That's what's happening at the moment, but I'm gonna break through it. Ooh, on the bonus. Man, let's start it. I need to get in a groove. Are you an elf? Yeah, in the original Centipede, I think you were supposed to be like an elf, and you're using a magic wand to destroy the centipede. At least I think that's how the 2600 story goes. I don't know if that's like, some of these arcade games back then. I'm guessing they didn't really have stories. You're just a block shooting things. Maybe they did. Yeah, I think they did in some of the artwork. I'm sure a lot of these games, story came second. I want to say that 2600 Centipede had a comic book that told the story, at least of that port. So if you are a wrestling fan, lately I've been watching a lot of WCW Nitro from when the NWO debuted. That was like a big anniversary or something. Oh, Tony, thank you. Have I ever done a review of Crystal Castles? Yes, I did. I did a review of that. That game's grown on me a little bit. I didn't care too much of the 3D aspect of the game, if I remember, but I played that a little bit more over the time, and it's okay. It's okay. Obviously, it's not as good as the arcade. 2600 Crystal Castles is what I'm talking about, just to clarify. I've only played the 2600 version of Crystal Castles, and on some of the collections, they had the arcade version, and I've tried that, which is without a trackball, so it's not the way you're supposed to play. But thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome. Now let's focus some more. Let's get some of these guys, but not die. This game can be so difficult because, like, you could try to play a game where the goal is to get as many points. You can play offensively, trying to, score as many points as you can, or you could try to be more defensively, just stay alive. And I kind of lean a little defensively. Like, if you really want to score points in the bunches, you want to shoot like the spider really close to you. The closer you shoot it, the higher your score. Man, this is tough when it gets... Look how crowded that field is. I just need like... to just like explode a bunch of the... mushrooms. I need like a bomb or something. Let's see. Some remembers a Centipede story where your guy shrunk down by a machine. The comics on it at Atari age. Different ports have different stories. Best line from Bash of the Beach 1996 when Hogan turned heel and said, "You fans can stick it, brother." Yeah, that was a great turn. That was a really good turn. REST had a good port of Crystal Castles. So Millipede is a story about an elf armed with a bow defending mushroom patch from wildlife. So you're like a Smurf. Save the mushroom village. And if you, in case you're wondering, this is a real cartridge on a 7800 system. I do use a converter, an HD, that goes from RCA to HDMI, so that might affect the graphics a little bit here and there. And of course, the streaming software can do that too. I'm going to try. I want to see if I can do a machine gun bow. Yeah, semi-automatic bow. Brother. Now I'm thinking about Hulk Hogan. So yeah, I've been watching some of the formation of the NWO, and really fascinating because I didn't watch wrestling back then. I was somewhat aware of it. I mean, I grew up watching 80s wrestling, the golden era, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Andre the Giant, Hogan, you know, that kind of stuff. So what's interesting is when they talk about the NWO today, they talk about, you know, Hogan, Nash, and Hall. They talk about those three people. And I'm terribly sorry if you don't care about pro wrestling and I'm boring you with this talk. But, and I'll be done soon. But what's interesting to me is just how quickly the group expanded. Like, there's a moment where every week, there was someone else being added. It was crazy because I think, who did they add first? DiBiase. They added DiBiase. They added Six, X-Pac, 123 Kid, whatever you want to call him. I actually remember him when he was called the Lightning Kid in like the Independence, like USWA or something like that. They added Vincent, who was Virgil. They added the Big Show, the Giant. They added a fake Sting. Like, it was just one after another. So the NWO didn't stay three men for very long at all. They teased it. They teased the third man for a while, but didn't stay that way. So basically, I'm just watching the Nitros and the pay-per-views. And honestly, some of the matches I just fast forward through if they're not interesting to me. Because some of the matches were just, you know, those shows, they were like 2-hour shows. So that's what I've been doing a little bit. I've taken a break from Columbo and watching Jaws movies. So I watched the Jaws. Peacock app has the Jaws movies, which I'm very glad that they have them for summer. Makes sense. I'm surprised they didn't have them a year ago when they debuted. I thought that was a mistake. But I've been watching the Jaws movies. Jaws 1, a classic. Jaws 2, better. You know, it's better than its reputation, I think. It's watchable. It's a popcorn movie. Jaws 3 is terrible. It is bad. And it made me question if I even want to bother watching Jaws 4 again. I've seen them all. I've seen them all multiple times. But I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I'm just done with the last two movies. I'm just done with them. The Big Show on Netflix. Yes, my wife and I actually watched a few episodes of that. It wasn't bad. You know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of like Full House, that kind of a comedy vibe, you know. I didn't watch the whole series, but, you know, my wife, who is not into wrestling at all, you know, didn't mind it. So, and I was watching lots of Columbo, and I just, you know, I go into moods. Like, I'm watching this now, I'm watching that. You know, I go from one thing to another. I'll have to remember to check the comments after this. I got a life and I died at the same exact moment. That's hilarious. That's funny. Every 15,000 points, you get a life. Man, this one's fast. Please tell me you watch the cruiserweight matches. I watch some of them. I've really been interested. I'll be honest. I've really been interested. Now, okay, so Chris Benoit used to be one of my favorite wrestlers. And it's really, sometimes it's hard because of what happened to enjoy his matches. But he was just such an amazing wrestler. Doesn't excuse at all what he did. You know, really, really terrible thing that he did. But I just really enjoyed him. So it's really interesting to see his early stuff. It's really interesting to see Chris Jericho's early stuff. Because, like, they're playing him like a good guy, which I don't remember him ever being a good guy in WCW. I remembered him being kind of like the jokester, the kind of like schmarmy. Is that how you say it? Heel? I don't remember, but so it's interesting to see Jericho's early matches. You know, Rey Mysterio, stuff like that. Cruiserweight matches, they are talented beyond belief, but sometimes it's almost about one flip after another, you know, one crazy thing after another. And I like the story of matches, so I've seen some of the cruiserweight stuff. I've not paid super duper attention. Just depends on my mood. There's only so many times I can see Juventud Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio going on over and over again. Ooh, got some slow motion. Also interesting to see Diamond Dallas Page earlier. Have I seen Dark Side of the Ring? I have not. I've heard good things about it. Well, this has been my best game since the beginning. Let's see if I can get anywhere with it. Oh, man. Just every angle. 1 minute you're doing good, next minute 3 lives in a row. But let's get back on the good side. Actually cleared the board quite a bit, or went backwards enough at least to do that. Another free life. That's nice. And I lose it. 60,000. I'll take it right now. Ooh, yes, slow motion. Come on, don't waste it. La Parka, chairman of the board. Yep, I remember him. Did I just die? Was that my last life? So close. 69,000. That's really good. Let's see. Missed a lot of chat. Let's see. I get to play in a flashback. Billy G's here. Welcome. Smurf, Rescue, and Gargamel's Castle. I should live stream that one day. They only talk about those three in the NWO because it would take a week to mention all of them. When I was 10 years old, I used to mow Hulk Hogan's mother's lawn. That's awesome. I had no idea you were a wrestling fan. Much more back in the 80s than now. Little Miss Sumo. When a centipede wants to kick another centipede in the shins, does he kick one leg at a time or does he stand on 50 and kick with 50? Watching Andy Griffin, Barney Fife cracks me up. Much like basketball, pro wrestling was only really popular over here in the mid-90s when they had really popular ambassador for it that everyone knew. So basketball, Michael Jordan, wrestling, Hulk Hogan. I caught a centipede, 99 more and I'll have a $1-pede. Oh, yes, talking about, Comchio's talking about how, there's people who are really, really good with their talents, but they've done some cruddy stuff as a person. And I'll be honest, a lot of my fandom for Hulk Hogan died. Let's see, gotta get back to zero. A lot of my fandom for Hulk Hogan died when I lived in Florida and Hogan Knows Best was on, and I got to see a different side of him where, like, he wasn't a hero. He was very self-absorbed. And that was like a turnoff for me. Like, I was like, wow, this guy's really kind of full of himself. So, which, it's a temptation that celebrities get. Everyone tells how great you are. You start thinking you're the end-all, be-all. You're above everybody else. You're better than everybody. We're all just people. But sometimes people can get caught up in their own popularity and think that they are above others. And that kind of pride just kind of turned me off. And then his son got in trouble with the law. His marriage ended up kind of falling apart. And it and it seemed like it was just too much Hollywood. Not to like make fun of the Hollywood stereotype of him, but there's a lot of truth in that. He seemed to be pretty much about himself. So sometimes there's a lot of truth. But yeah, Chris Benoit, amazing, amazing performer. But then he kills his kid and wife. That's awful. O.J. Simpson, stuff like that. The allegations against Michael Jackson. There's just so many things where, you just gotta, there's two things you see that happen with people. Some people have this effect where because they like celebrity A so much because of what they do in their craft, they have a hard time imagining that they could be guilty of anything bad. And then there's also people who, because of what they did, you can't appreciate what they, their art, what they put together. And it's such a kind of a tightrope almost. I'm kind of the type where now I can watch a Chris Benoit match and it doesn't affect me too much, but it's in the back of my head sometimes. Get a life, lose life. Yep, DDP does his little yoga program, rehabbing people like Jake the Snake Roberts. I admire that. I really do. I'm a big believer in like finding the best in people and second chances and all that stuff. And from all accounts, that's what DDP is doing with his life. Not bad for a guy who was a chauffeur in a WrestleMania at one point. Let's see. Hoovy versus Psychosis. Dean Malenko, Jericho. Yep, those are good ones. Pretty detailed for a 2600 game. Yes, absolutely. Pitfall of hero worship. Reality checks can be expensive, emotionally speaking. Yep. It's the truth. And you've seen it happen on YouTube with some big YouTube names. You find out that, you know, these people that entertain you, they can be scummy, or they can just have something that, they can have faults too. And let's just be real. Everyone has a fault. Not all faults are equal. But no one's perfect. We all have things that, you know, things we wish we could take back, or mistakes we've made. So you got to give some grace, obviously. But you also have to kind of, what is that phrase? Trust but verify. You kind of have to check yourself before you, and separate people from their craft. It's so sad when people get so obsessed. I mean, you guys remember what it was like when New Kids on the Block was big? Like, the girls would go crazy for them. Like, everything was about them. Like, they were totally being, like, worshipped. And it was just, it was insane how much people liked New Kids on the Block. Well, the ladies, basically. Do I prefer this or Centipede? I like this. I like all the additions. I think I'm just going to try a couple more games. Let's start over. No, I'm doing a high score challenge, so I'm not continuing. I'm starting over at 0. This game does give you an option to kind of continue in a sense. It lets you pick up at certain scores, which I think triggers certain events happening, like quicker centipedes, double spiders, stuff like that. How do I get some breathing room here? Yeah, New Kids on the Block didn't last too long, but I remember when they had a revival with the Backstreet Boys and went on a tour or something, like in the 2000s or something like that, and all, you know, it's just like anything retro, you know, Atari becomes popular again and New Kids on the Block became popular again. Do I remember getting a perfect score in an arcade game? Nope, never did. I'm trying to think if I ever made, like, I know I've made top 10 tables where you got to put your initials in, but like like the top score, ooh, that one I doubt. But usually when it came to arcade games, I just didn't have the money, because to play arcade games, you know, quarter munchers, you got to pop those quarters in. I think maybe one more game. Let's see. I used to have a New Kid shirt. Aunt bought one for me and my brother when we were kids. Wow. Yeah, you know, to be a boy and to wear a New Kid shirt, you know, back in the day, you were kind of asking for it. You would probably get harassed for that. I remember, I remember in my school when New Kids was hot. There's all the girls were into the New Kid stuff, and you know what the boys were into? Dick Tracy T-shirts. Remember when Dick Tracy was a big deal when the Disney movie came out? Oh, come on, get them before they get too low. I also remember when Batman t-shirts were a big deal. I mean, a big deal. New Kids on the Block Hanging Tough concert. I remember when, so I would read some Archie comic books. I was like the only person I knew back in those days that actually enjoyed Archie comic books. Honestly, a lot of my friends didn't read comic books at all. And I remember seeing advertisements on an Archie comic book for New Kids on the Block. They were going to do a comic book for them. Or was it Harvey Comics? Maybe it was Harvey Comics, like Richie Rich and that kind of stuff. Casper, you know. Man, just so much going on. Let's see. Yep, late stream. Almost at an hour. So I'll try and play this for an hour and then I'll stop. Dick Tracy fad, graphic tees of the villains with Madonna's character. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. And I remember the Dick Tracy, there's like some game that you could play, a scratch off game at McDonald's. Yep, 89 was all about Batman. Achy Breaky Heart t-shirts, that's hilarious. Last Starfighter, that was a good one. I didn't know that there was a New Kids on the Block game. They were talking about a prototype. I guess it didn't come out. Journey Escape. Do you think that Casper is Richie Rich in ghost form? Interesting. That's a crazy take I've never thought of before. I'm sure they've had interactions in the comics, haven't they? A lot of those characters had crossovers at one point or the other. See, those were Archie comics and Harvey comics. I would get those from the quarter bin at my comic book store. When I collected comics a little bit, and my main comic was G.I. Joe, which I'm going to stand by. G.I. Joe was a really good comic book. Larry Hama did a really good job because with that series, he made it better than it should have been. Because most comic books with like a cartoon or toy tie-in of some sort don't last and are not that good. But G.I. Joe was good. It was a good comic book. But my comic book store had a quarter bin of comics and would find some Archie comics in there. I think they would be like either used comics and, pretty red in condition that didn't have much value, or it might have been comics that they just didn't sell on their stand and they threw in there after a while. Of course, I got into comics. See, I was in baseball cards when everyone was in baseball cards in the 80s. And then I got into comic books when everyone was in comic books. I'd go to the store, buy the #1 issue, put it in a bag and a cardboard backing. I wouldn't even read it half the time. And of course, a lot of those comics aren't worth much today. Because there were so many of them. Look at just all these mushrooms. So hard to cut through all this stuff. Oh, I should have got that spider. This probably is going to be my last game. Then I'll catch up on comics, or comments, not comics. I'm talking about comic books. See what I can do in the last few minutes here. One life left to live. Good, got a little bit of breathing room there, and then I died. 66,829. My best game was my first game. How ironic. Okay, so let's see. Never played the Arcade Journey game. Remember Coca-Cola shirts? Yeah. Toy Story Planet t-shirt. Ruin Archie comics. Watch Riverdale. I've never seen that. The old G.I. Joe comics were great, a lot grittier than the cartoon. G.I. Joe and Turtles were my main comics. We got the He-Man and Mask comics here. Those were pretty fun. MST3K comic. I didn't even realize they had one. I should have. I have the G.I. Joe dialogue free comic starring Snake Eyes. Very early, amazing comic. Yep, that's called Silent Intruder. Very, very interesting, good comic book. Nicholas is talking about the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog series. Snake Eyes was always my favorite G.I. Joe character. What's my high score so far? It was in the 70,000s. I'd have to go back and see. Wasn't much higher than this, like 71,000. Then I had a bunch of junky games, and I had a good one. Him and Storm Shadow. Actually, Risk, you can't see my wall, but I can, of course. And on my wall in the corner, I have a 25th anniversary G.I. Joe 2-pack with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Another one of my favorite characters from the comic that didn't really make it into the cartoon was Quinn. He was in an early one. I have one of his action figures. They made it for the G.I. Joe sequel movie with Retaliation or something. Oh, Mega Man. There was a comic book too. All right. Well, I hope you had fun tonight talking some retro stuff, comics, wrestling, stuff like that. Looks like your score's safe for now, Pikachu. I may have to give this another go another time, but I enjoyed playing tonight. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you go ahead, click like and subscribe. If you want to take part in this high score challenge, it's for Millipede on the 2600, starting at score 00000. If you want to be a part of that high score challenge, you could go join the Discord server. I put a link at the very top of the chat and in the description. It's free to join. Winner of the high score challenge gets to pick the next game with my help, and it's fun. It's a fun little game. It's a fun challenge. I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm enjoying the server as well. Also have a contest giveaway going on over there too. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great night, everybody.